All right. I think we got it. I think it's just the weather. I'm very certain it is just when I have to deal with the bullshit. It's the weather. I tried starting up the old backup network, and that did not work either. Um, I did reconnect to the primary network, and it looks like I also forgot to mute my monitor. Sorry. It looks like everything's good. I did have a little initial hiccup where I lost all the frames, but we're in now, and it looks like all the frames are getting out. So we'll be starting in just a second. And yeah, we're going to hopefully get up to launch here. So good. All right. Howdy, everyone. How goes? Wie geht's? And all the likes. We were at, what, lower equipment bay and timer panel. Yes. All right, let's get started. That is the console, not the time start button. There we go. So, looking at panel 100 here. Should be utility power off, floodlights dim, fixed off, optics off, IMU on, transponder to heater, very good. Panel 306, mission timer, we did a stop reset. Actually, wait, I guarantee you. Okay, no, we didn't get that. Okay, event timer, stop and reset. Nope, not start, stop and reset. There we go. System test voltage, looking good. We'll go 5 Bravo now. And test. Oh. It is 5 Bravo, yes. Oh, 5 Bravo is not implemented. How nice. But transponder. Right, okay, yeah. Well, I digress. We're supposed to be testing that. It's fine. Also, yeah, system test for alpha, looking good. All right. Track that then. Radar, rendezvous radar needs to be on operate. Command module heaters off. Waste and H2O and urine dump heaters on A. And then the optics needs to get set up, which we already did. And yeah, so we're good there. That's it. Pretty easy. Next up, ordeal switch position check. This is always stowed pre-launch. Just make sure inertial, middle position, or power off, and then the rest of it doesn't matter. But yeah, no altitude set in the ordeal, so this is going to be one of the biggest differences in NASP when/if you guys ever get there. So, left-hand couch. So, surge tank. It's not surge tank relief. Surge tank O2 on 370. Actually, wait. 370. Yes, it's this one. Surge tank relief valve is open. Good. PLVC is normal. Demand regs should be set to both. So let's come down here. Both. Oh, wait, sorry. That's the suit demand reg, which, yes, is set to both. Suit test valve off. Suit return. Push is pushed. Primary glycol to radiators normal. It is normal. And 2 of these on boost enter. Good. Glycol reservoir open, close, open. SMO2 supply open. Surge tank supply open. Repress package open. Coas power off. Utility power off. Beacon light off. Dye marker off. And post-landing vent, which is hidden behind this bracket, which I don't know if that was there or not, but that's just in the way and very annoying. Also off. Very good. Actually, I think that might have been there. That might be the mount for the window shade. Kind of an annoying spot. Auto RCS 16 off. Good. Floodlights dim, fixed, set desired, set desired, set desired. Logic both off, arm off. Panel 8, all circuit breakers closed, except the 2 command module RCS heaters. The float bags, and sex logic and arm. Good. Emergency detection system power is off. TVC servos to power off. FDAI GPI power, here we go. Powering up the stabilization control system. So set both on. Logic power is on. GDC ECA. Signal condition bias power, cross tie, AC1, AC2, like that. And then BMAGs both on warm up. CMC attitude set IMU. Never flip this switch. Actually, there is documentation about just never flipping the switch, so never flip the switch. This is one of those things that like breaks everything, like the at-set switch here. NASP devs have talked about why you should never flip the switch. So if you're curious, ask them. FTI scale 5.1, select 1.2, source CMC, at-set GDC, rate command, Excel command, rate command, limit cycle off, deadband minimum, rate high, translation control power on, rotational control normal, AC/DC cross tie, direct off, SCS, CMC mode free, BMAGs rate 2, SPS thrust switches normal, supposed to be off, delta V switches are off, yeah, SPS thrust here, that's what I'm looking for, to normal. Also weird way that kind of just clips through, but yeah. Attitude set 152, 162, sorry, 162, 90, and 0. I was looking at something else. So 162, 90, and 0. This is the attitude set panel, attitude set control panel, and it's used for aligning the GDC, as well as actually moving the yellow needles around. So if we do this, we should be able to see the yellow needles. Actually, that is completely wrong. It looks like 2 of these yellow needles are not operating. But that's what it's supposed to be used for anyways. Actually, yaw would be 0, so that would be centered. Pitch is supposed to be 90, yeah, so this right needle here seems to not work as expected with the GDC. Very interesting. SCS TVC, that's our stabilization control system, thrust vector control. Both should be rate command. Gimbal motors off. Delta V center of gravity is going to be on LMCSM. Entry landing system logic off, but on auto. RCS command logic, or command module RCS logic off. Dump and purge off. By the way, these 2 should be guarded switches because they're irrevocable actions. IMU cage off and guarded. Very good. EMS roll off. Entry interface light off. Select angle of attack and tank pressure. Good. Actually select GPI. Verify. Motors aren't on, so that's fine. TVC gimbal drives should be in auto. Event timer, start switch center, and reset. Suits cabin delta pressure. This kind of isn't really working right. It's supposed to be greater than +2, but it's not. This one should be, yep, right on the money with 0.4 plus or minus 0.1. Probe, extend release switches. Extend release talkbacks gray. Probe 3 switches off. Exterior lights off. Tunnel lights off. CSM power is not connected right now, so that's supposed to be off. LM power CSM, yeah. Uplink telemetry command module accept, which doesn't do anything in our entry, but it's there. Command module RCS pressurization down and guarded, monitoring propellant quantity, and we'll do the checks. So we need to make sure that these secondary valves are open. There's no talkback for them. And then we're just going to click through and monitor everything. A, B, C, D. Minus the helium pressure and the temperature. A, B, C, D. Looking very good there. Command module, RCS, propellant isolation valves, both open. And make sure that we read pre-press conditions. Very good. RCS command center. RCS transfer service module. EDS auto off. U2 off, off, off. Auto, auto, auto. Tower jets to auto. Launch vehicle guidance switch should be on instrument unit. Launch vehicle stage off and guarded. Translunar inject switch to inject. Main release off. Emergency O2 closed. All these are closed. Close. Good. Very good. Now we're rolling on down through the right-hand couch checks. All of this off. Very good. $276. All closed. 278 all closed except for the uprighting system compressors. They're for the float bags. So if we land upside down in stable 2, we can flip ourselves over to stable 1 so that we can get recovered and exit the hatch. AC1, AC2, AC2, AC1, off, off, AC1, main A. Good. SPS gauging, which is on panel 4. AC1, telecom groups alternating. Glycol pumps 1, AC1, good. Suits compressors, both off, good. Fuel cell radiators, good. React valves, good. On main A. Fuel cell main A 1 and 2 and 3 should be off, with 2 on. And on fuel cell B, all should be off. Or main bus B, that is. All should be off. Very good. Mission timer reset center. Very good. Fuel cell flows. I don't know how well this is implemented, but they should all be pretty much in the green. Minus fuel cell 1 and 3, which are supposed to be below the green, since they shouldn't actually be running anything because they're open-circuited. But just a little small thing, I guess. Could never understand the yellow needles, but I'm still learning as much as I can. I think in the burn planner, P52... nope, I don't think you need that switch up to accept any uplinks. You're supposed to, of course, but I don't know if that's changed or not, but last time I played, that didn't matter. Alright, taking a look again. Now we just need to click through our DC indicators, make sure everything is good. fuel cell 1, 2, 3, A, B, charger, battery C, pyros, all is good. Dual stat inverter check. This is good. AC power is good. All of this stuff here is good as well. We need to monitor propellant, make sure this stuff is good here, and order with the checklist. And switch between the helium and the nitrogen, and all is very good there. Line heaters off, select helium after you look at it, VHF, SM left, good. S-band transponder off, power amplifier high, off. S-band voice to voice, PCM, ranging. Center, data off. We need to go command reset them off. Select Omni Bravo, very good. Squelch noise. VHF2 are off. Receiver off. Beacon off, ranging off. Squelch should be enabled. This is not a switch, but I assume it got moved into this where it's 0 is no squelch and everything else is squelch. It did ask for you to be an accept. Okay, well that good. Then at least that does somewhat work. Still not the way it's supposed to, because it's, you know, supposed to actually write stuff into the computer and not just come on for a second and turn off. But at least it asks for it now, which is good. Fuel cell react valve latches are normal. And H2 purge line heater off. Postcode modulate analog. Recorder to record. And rewind. Ensure tape motion, and then off. By the way, tape motion is not supposed to be gray unless the tape is moving, just kind of a thing. If it's not moving, regardless of what this switch is set to, it is not supposed to be having tape motion, because it's very obviously not moving if you don't have it rewinding or moving forward. So if you're on record, it's just going to record the same part of the tape over and over and over again without moving. So you're not really recording anything, thus the tape is not in motion. So this talkback should be barberable right now, but it is not. PCM bitrate high, signal control equipment. Oh yeah, by the way, SCE is pretty important. If you turn it off, okay, well, it doesn't actually do anything here. If you turn it off in your emission control, you lose the data, but here you're also supposed to lose readouts on fuel cell flows. Doesn't seem to be doing anything though. Pre-modulation processor, let's see what turning that off does. Whole wad of nothing, so yeah, needs a little bit more work on the telemetry system, but other than that, it's fine. PCM bitrate high. Mission timer, reset, then start. Caution and warning, as we configured, very good. This we can't even pull to unlock, so that's good. Now we just take a look at our pressures here. Pressures look good. Quantities also look good. O2 shouldn't be going down right now since we're not draining anything, but that's fine. Heaters and fans to auto. Which is very interesting that it's actually moving the radiator temperature. What it is supposed to be dramatically having an effect on is fuel cell flows, but it doesn't seem to be affecting fuel cell flow. Very interesting. It does have a huge effect on the radiators, though. I never noticed that. I'll have to confirm with NASP to see if that's right. Yeah, these are supposed to always show the same quantity readout, so that is also very interesting. ECS indicator, select primary, very good. Verify all these gauges, and they're good. We do have our radiator temperatures here, so we have the radiator inlet, radiator outlet, primary and secondary. We get the readout on both, so we don't need a switch. Only the ones that say primary/secondary, you would get a readout change for. So these two gauges, this gauge, and this gauge. Everything else, oh, and this one here, the accumulator, and that's it. Everything else is affixed to their primary or secondary. All right, radiator flow control power on. Oh, pretty sure we're supposed to do the changeover test, so then we would click 2, and then do that, and then back to off. It's not written in here, though. And then we would take a look at our tank stuff. Looks good. And to be honest, it's probably part of a different check. Potable water heater off. Good. Self-explanatory on what that does. Then we've got the suit accumulators, center for both. Heat exchanger on for 20 seconds, then off. And secondary coolant loop reset for 58 seconds. Then off. It shouldn't affect the mission later on down the line. I'm just curious on why it's going down so fast. Interesting. We don't even have a O2 flow high alarm for that, so... glycol in temp, manual, increase for 58 seconds, then decrease for 8 to 9. So increase for 58 seconds, decrease for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5, there we go. H2O flow off, cabin temperature manual, and max decrease. So 0. Again, antenna stuff is good. Servos on primary. Good. And cabin pressure dump valve closed, which is on the side hatch, and it is closed. Com check. For this, we activate U and U, and that goes gray. That's actually supposed to take 90 seconds to initialize. VHF AM Bravo to duplex. And then we come over here, turn this on, the suit power plus the power audio tone for everyone. We do the checks, and yeah, that's right, this panel is not even implemented. We would do the checks and then set some knobs there. And then you take the power off. Very good. VHF ranging norm, yep. Now we take uplink telemetry data to up voice backup. Establish two-way comm, and then do a test, and then back to data, and then we do down voice backup, back to off after the test, S-band aux tape, center, and then at completion you turn all that off. Alright, caution and warning, power off, and circuit breakers hold. Now the prime crew is prepared for ingress. So, verify couches. We just make sure that they're in. We have them stowed for now, though. So we can toggle the seats. And then the crew comes in. And we can open the potable tank inlet. Excuse me, not that one. It's this one down here. Potable tank inlet. Open. Food separation is not simulated. The drinking water supply, turn that on. Actuate drink gun control until 2 to 4 ounces of water withdrawn, and then turn it off. Remove sterilization kit, very good. Direct O2 open, adjust for 0.6 to 0.8. So now we need to bring the direct O2 up. So we'll take it up a few clicks. There we go. Suit compressor. There we go, suit compressor is on. Sequential events control system is saved. Rendezvous transponder power off. S-band transponder and power amplifier high. And the ingress lower equipment bay for prime crew ingress support. So we're gonna help people get in. Prime crew needs to ingress, so we'll take these off. S-band, transponder, and power amplifier. Then we will close the caution and warning circuit breakers. Turn the caution and warning power to 1. No lights, very good. Potable tank inlet, that's all good. And actually, what am I doing? We just finished this checklist. Oops, yeah, that's fine. So into ingress and status checks. Secondary coolant pump, we don't need to worry about. This is just connecting everyone to their comms and making sure the suit connectors are on full flow, that they already are. Cabin fans should be on. Float bag to vent. Manual attitude stuff is set up. That's set up, that's set up. Very good. That we already did. SPS gauging, AC1. Good. And glycol pumps, AC1. Good. SM left, good. Oxidizer flow valve to normal. Main A and B reset logics are center. SPS helium valves both in auto on Omni Bravo. VHF beacon off. Signal conditioning equipment normal. AC sensing circuitry resets center. And command module comes in with the suit power stuff, which is not simulated. Center suit flow valve off. And then CMP, O2 vent shut off, disconnect. Good there. All right, propellant dump to auto. 2 engine outs, launch vehicle rates, auto, auto, auto. Caution and warning to boost. Mission timer is in start, good. Suit H2O accumulator, auto 1. Suit compressor should be 0.7 to 0.9. A little bit low, but it's probably not simulated entirely. So that's good. VHF AM volumes as desired, S-band volumes as desired. Uplink telemetry for the man module will go to block. So yep, uplink telemetry command normal. And then uplink telemetry command module to block. EDS checkout. So here we take EDS power on. EDS auto on. And then verify abort light operations, if we can even verify that. Nope, it does not look like we can verify abort light operations, but this would come on and then it would come off. Uplink telemetry command after the light is off can then go back to off. And then this person would be removed entirely from the comm system in mission control and the spacecraft, and this person gets removed from PADCOM, so it needs to run through all the abort queues. You can close the hatch now. There we go. Yeah, I'll forget to do it or do it again. Yeah, I feel that. Takes a little bit of practice, but you get used to it. You get used to it. Side hatch closing is all good. Change launch azimuth if necessary. It is not necessary. This is not supposed to be indented, but cabin fans both should go to off. EDS test would be complete now, so we would get everyone back on the normal comm config. And then EDS power off. And EDS auto off. Which, if the EDS power is off, I feel like the no auto abort light should come on. However, I'm not entirely sure, so I'm not going to comment on that. Okay. Apparently the last item has us take SCS electronics power. I doubt it. Oh, no, to ECA. Okay. To ECA only. Yeah, and it's not all up in your face, too, which is nice. final verification. So at this point, we're going to power up the gyros for the SCS system. IMU's already powered up and been gyro compassing, but the SCS does not have a gyro compass, so this gets done pretty close to launch. Caution and warning goes to normal. You verify no BMAG temp lights. Very good. You turn off the FTAI so that you can turn this to GDC ECA. BMAGs both to on. And then you turn back on the FTAI. And the reason is that these BMAGs may make the FTAI move if both are on. And back to acknowledge caution warning. Now we do the GDC line. In reentry, the manual GDC line procedure, which you can find in my NASP videos, is broken, so simply just leave it as is and hit GDC line. The manual way is broken, unfortunately, so. Like, we can replicate it, but you can see if you do hit GDC line with the manual select, we can even try it, 6.89. Doing that, making those needles, which, whoa. Yeah, that's not right. That is not right. Moving the pitch should have no effect on the yaw. But you can see it will not align. So, gotta keep it like this. And that will align it nice and good for you. Yeah, I noticed like the roll indication is attached. This roll, physical roll position, is attached to your acceleration. And now I notice that your pitch and yaw error needles are both linked together. Which is not, if I directly slew the pitch error needle, it should only slew the pitch error needle. Which is really weird behavior. It's super, super contrary to my understanding. Fuel cell initialization, finally. Tie fuel cell 1 to main bus A, fuel cell 2 to main bus A. Fuel cell 2 goes to main bus B. And fuel cell, oh, apparently they want us to configure not the Apollo 11 style, but the Apollo 13 style, which is fuel cell 3 to main bus B only. If you want to configure it like Apollo 11, you can do 2 on both buses like this. If you want to configure it like Apollo 13, you can take 2 to off and just run fuel cell 3 on main bus B. Your choice. I prefer 11 style. Yeah, you can see it doesn't really even change anything in regards to fuel cell flow. Main bus ties should be on for this next test. Then our TVCs to rate command, good. And thrust vector control servo powers on. GPI is confirmed. Pitch 1 start. Yaw 1 start. Minus. Plus 0. Oh, that's interesting. Let me look at that head-on. Let's see what's with that. Yeah, I'm not confident that that mapping is correct, but we'll roll with it. We've got the indicator. So minus plus 0. Yeah, that's 13 and up. They had the fuel cells different config. SCS TVCs to auto now. Pitch to start, yaw to start. Translational hand controller to clockwise. Confirm trim. Trim control is good. And now it should be, we just move the attitude handle and it should slew us around, but it's not when we move to rotate. Let's try tie direct. Nope, okay. SCS TVC's manual control is a bit funny, I guess. Auto changeover, take these two motors off, and then you verify you have no control anymore, which we didn't even have control in the first place, so that's not that big of an issue. That handle can go back to neutral, and then all of them can go off. Now our batteries can go into off, and then auto. Auto will tie the battery if needed, and untie the battery if not needed, so very good for pre-launch if you don't want to waste any battery, to have it on auto. But also so that if you do have problems with the fuel cells, you can get something to support that power till the fuel cells are diagnosed and taken back into service. TVC servo switches should be off. Launch vehicle indicator back to that tank pressure. FDI source is good. Let's see if the RSI indication works properly. We will yaw through 45 degrees. And hello, I moved yaw and it moved roll. Interesting. But no, RSI indication test on the pad is not working. That's fine. Yeah, this ball shows the same as the at set, so why is the roll needle deflected? I'm not gonna understand the yellow needles. It's broken. Is broken. It's just the yellow needles are supposed to show direct gimbal reference, but there's some fourth reference point. I have no idea what's up with that. EMS prep, so we go to delta V set. And, oh, hey, now delta V set works. Nice. That works properly. So 699.9. And back to delta V. Good. Caution warning mode. Caution warning normal switch to boost. Uplink telemetry command normal. Now we arm the pad abort, so EDS power on. Side hatch stuff, which is not implemented. Command module RCS logic on. Close the logic and pyro batteries. Logic on, report logic as on, wait for mission control to give you pyro arm, which they won't because we don't have mission control, but pyro arm. And now we will take the H2 and O2 fans off and activate our service module RCS. So open, 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 open. Okay, was it just me or did I see a rise in the helium pressure in the command module loop as a result of opening the helium in the service module loop? I thought I saw that, but my eyes must be deceiving. Okay, good. Open, 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 open. Open, 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 open. Very good. Now, remember, there's no talkbacks for these, and we opened them earlier, so close your secondary fuel press valves, and then open your primary fuel press valves, and now you've got talkbacks. And all good there. Tank temperatures, helium tank temperature is not implemented, so we're all good there. And back to CM2. Looks good. And now, launch preparations. This is at the T-minus 25 minute mark. And I'm not going to skip down to that because we're not even going to think about doing launch today. We'll cover the T-minus 25 a bit later, but might as well go through it now. So for this, it's AC rolls here on our auto RCS select. By the way, what these do with auto RCS is they turn on each individual jet on every quad. So A, B, C, D is a quad, and then you have the little jets, and then they go in different axes. So that's how they're labeled. The auto coils go through the normal, and when you have direct turned on, regardless of the auto RCS position, if you hard over the controller and you have the direct enabled, it will fire the jets regardless of the switch positions here. Because these fire the auto coils, the direct coils are separate logic. So, yep. More about that later though. This config is just up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And this is nothing special, you know, it doesn't matter if it's up or down. It's just a matter of load distribution across the two buses. If you had them all on main A, that is a whole lot of load on main A, first of all. And second of all, if you lose that bus, you're shit out of luck for control. So this configuration gives you full control with spreading out the load, and if you were to lose an electrical bus, you would still have full attitude control. So this is why this switch configuration is the way it is. Also, thank you. I do like to call certain things out between the checklists and real life. That is if I know, like, if I'm suspicious of something, I'm like, I think it's this, but I'm not sure. Ask the NAS devs. But yeah, if I know for sure something is, like, funny, I call it out. If it's in the checklist, it should work. Otherwise, just say it's not simulated yet. Go to BAT C and make sure that it has supposed to be 37 volts. It has 40 though. The Pyro batteries are supposed to have 40 volts, and battery C is supposed to have 37, so that's backwards. Battery C is supposed to be the same as the main batteries, so they should have the same volts. Pyro bats need higher voltages because they're supposed to last longer, so yeah, kind of backwards on that one. Scale this switch just changes the scale of the ball, but again, we'll talk about that later when we actually get to see all the systems in action. We don't really get to see anything in its glory right now. We're just kind of flipping stuff. And I'm kind of explaining a little bit what it does, but you'll see it. You'll actually see it when we start flying. Trans control power on. You get your direct coil power on. CMC free. BMAGs will go to rate 1, and these just select which BMAG. So in order to have attitude factored in, attitude can only be factored in by BMAG 1. So you need BMAG 2 to run your rate information, and then BMAG 1 can also run the rates as a backup. Here you would, disable, what was it, S-band and VHF, do a test, and then turn it back on. It's a waste because we don't have mission control, so that's not going to do anything anyways. So we'll skip it. SPS thrust norm, off and guarded. Angle of attack, S2, S4B. Launch vehicle rates, auto, 2 engine out, auto, propellant dump, auto. RCS command off. TVC servos on. Like so. At the 10-minute mark, you would latch your fuel cell react valves, and this would keep them closed or open, depending on if you closed it, it would maintain them being closed, and if you open them, if they're open, it will maintain them being open. The shock from the launch or from the staging of the rocket can force these valves in a position you don't want them. So if you latch their last configuration, that will prevent that from happening. At T-minus 8 minutes 30 seconds, you would verify the secondary coolant loop is off. At T-minus 4 minutes and 10 seconds, you would get all of the launch vehicle engine lights on. And the reason why I'm not time skipping to show you is because you cannot have the TVC servo power on for longer than 1 hour, or you risk burning out the gimbal motors. So I'm not going to time skip to show you. But then at T-minus 4 minutes, Astro launch operations com check. Verify DISC program 2. You would insert verb 75. Do not enter. If you were to enter this, it would force program 11 to run, which is the liftoff routine. It would start monitoring pip accounts, acceleration, all that, and this would stop gyro compassing. It would go to internal, so you don't want to do that. Tape recorder then at that point would start actually recording in the forward direction. At T-minus 2 minutes and 15 seconds, you would pull the radiators to bypass. At T-minus 1 minute and 15 seconds, you would tie your main batteries. And at T-minus 1 minute, pad comms off, with the last call out at T-minus 45 seconds being the final alignment of the stabilization control system, GDC align, no movements, and you're good, and it's liftoff, and everything is right in the world. And our system shakedown is complete, and we're ready for launch. Whew. My voice hurts. It's done. It's finally done. My voice hurts, but it's done. Ah. Feels good to be done, doesn't it? Now, tomorrow, after work, we're ready to fly. In Apollo, my voice hurts. I can't even talk. Like, it hurts to talk. I've been talking all day. Yeah, we're not gonna run through the launch because cover issues. Because the launch is gonna be its own tutorial. Launch and insertion are gonna be their own tutorial. And we're not gonna run through the launch because we are a whole ass hour away from it. So there's stuff to do in the launch, there's stuff to check out, so it's gonna be its own tutorial with the insertion checks. And possibly, if I'm fast enough, TLI. If not, TLI probably get its own tutorial, to be honest. It's kind of finicky and buggy, so maybe it should get its own tutorial. Transposition and docking is definitely getting its own tutorial, but it's probably going to be like under 20 minutes. But it's one of those serious big ticket items that a lot of people ask, like, how do I maintain control and do this properly? So it will get its own tutorial as well. And then I'm just going to skip all the way to the moon. And then lunar orbit insertion will submit its own tutorial. We will be doing no mid-course corrections due to an issue of the lunar state vector not being loaded up until you enter lunar sphere of influence. So you can't really calculate a mid-course correction burn. Because the numbers it gives you are in reference to Earth, and I don't feel like doing the conversion math, even though I'm pretty sure it's easy. If you get your initial targeting perfect, there should be no reason you need mid-course corrections, because in reentry, it is basic two-body physics with no air resistance and no solar pressure. So it's quite a bit different from Orbiter, which has those simulations, like three-body orbital mechanics. You can actually do geostationary orbits and stuff like that, geosynchronous orbits, with solar pressure and everything. So a little bit different, but none of that is here. So if you get your initial burn rate with the booster, you don't need to do any mid-course corrections. That's what I'm banking on because I can't calculate them when I don't have the lunar reference. So, yeah. So that's the plans anyways. I think I'm gonna end it for the night because, I would continue on and do something a little more fun, but I'm talked out today. I need to shut the fuck up because I'm gonna lose my voice, and if I lose my voice, that's critical to doing my job, since my job requires my voice, so I can't lose it. So, gonna have to end it here. So, Apollo 13 campaign makes you do one. It does, but it's pre-calculated. They tell you what to punch in, so. Peace out, everyone, and tomorrow we'll probably run through the launch and the orbital insertion systems checks and setup. And then we'll actually get to the flying, where we actually get nitty-gritty with some of the flight systems. No P-23s or anything crazy like that. There's only P-52, so there's nothing crazy with the computer. We gotta keep it up to date all the time and this and that. So I'm just gonna skip, like, after TLI and docking and stuff. I'm just gonna time skip to the moon, and then we'll do our one P-52 there. So that's about it. I'll time skip to the moon. As soon as that time skipping stops because we enter lunar sphere of influence, I will perform a P-52 there, and I'll give a tutorial for that. And then I'll perform lunar orbit insertion, which will probably be in the same tutorial because P-52 is required for it. So, yeah. That's about it. I'll also do one basic tutorial about changing the fuel cell canisters. I'll probably do it like after TLI, but I have the option disabled because mostly it's just a nuisance and an annoyance more than anything, so yeah. See you all later, and thanks for stopping by. And again, please, 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 if you follow my videos and they are helpful to piloting, definitely subscribe. I was also thinking about putting out some tutorials on how to operate the Boeing 737, because I have the PMDG craft files for it, but I don't know any of the emergency procedures, so it'd probably only be like how to actually fly the plane. I don't know anything about saving the plane from an emergency. I tried an engine out scenario and it did not go very well, so I was like, nah, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Emergencies are much easier in space than they are in planes, to be honest. So yeah. See you guys later. And yes, I hope Rebel watches. Bye.